Mm-hmm. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. My assessment, fake outrage. Right? Now we here. Let's talk through this.
Will save St. Louis by sending in the National Guard. It's one of the latest cities that's part of his plan to crack. Denied President Trump says he will save St. Louis by sending in the National Guard. It's one of the latest cities that's part of his plan to crack down on crimes across the country, focusing on D.C., Chicago, Memphis, and then St. Louis. 5 on your sides, Annie Krall is live downtown with local political reaction to the president's remarks. Annie.
And one of the biggest questions for people is how realistic a timeline may be for having the National Guard come to the city, if at all. Today, we heard from Governor Mike Kehoe's office, who says there's no current plan to have the National Guard come to Missouri. But again, today, President Donald Trump said that St. Louis is certainly under consideration.
He said St. Louis is in big trouble.
That's what President Trump said on Tuesday after fielding questions about.
Let me ask y'all a question. Put a one in the chat if black people are under attack. We got Chicago. We got St. Louis. We got Memphis, right? Is it an agenda against black people? Put a one in the chat, or is it an agenda against crime? Right? What's the motive? What's the intention? Is it to clean up the cities, or is it about us? Okay, we got ones, we got ones, we got ones. We got one from Miss Parker, Miss Alexis, Jay Shalom. What up, Quincy? Okay, Aaron. Black crimes, okay. Jay Miller says 0. Okay, and I almost put a 0 in there because I kind of understand why that would be a reply. Okay. 2, 2, 1, 1. Okay. Let's keep listening.
Which cities he may send the National Guard into next, saying the day before.
We're going to save these cities. This isn't like, we're going to do something. We have to save St. Louis.
President Trump is heeding advice from Union Pacific CEO Jim Vena, who runs one of the largest freight railroad companies in the country.
This is a guy telling me with great knowledge and stuff. He said, don't let Chicago die, sir. It's dying. Don't let it die. I'm going to Chicago next.
Meanwhile, the St. Louis Metro Police said they haven't had any substantial conversations about the National Guard coming to the city. The police department has been under state control since March.
There have been very brief conversations with the governor's office, but that is limited to, hey, have you heard anything?
The governor's office saying there are currently no plans to have federal troops here. However, quote, Governor Kehoe continues to keep options open to keep Missourians safe. Governor Kehoe appreciates President Trump's efforts to clean up cities like Washington, D.C. and Memphis and share his goal of creating safer, more prosperous communities.
We're aware of the president's comments, and I can tell you that we are working every single day with our local, state, and federal partners to build a safer St. Louis.
In May, the National Guard was in St. Louis to help with tornado recovery. That's the sort of help Mayor Kara Spencer said she's looking for. The mayor has not changed her stance since last week, saying, quote, crime unquestionably remains too high in St. Louis, but we have seen massive improvements in the past 5 years. And that positive trend is continuing, including now that our police department answers to Republican Governor Mike Kehoe. And keep in mind, SLMPD statistics show that homicides are at an all-time low over the last 6 years. At this time last year in 2020, they're at 50% down from where they were at in 2020. Reporting live in downtown St. Louis, Annie Krall, 5 on your side.
We got Memphis, we got St. Louis, Chicago, D.C., predominantly black cities. There was overwhelmingly ones in the chat that this is an agenda against black people. That seemed to be the consensus, right? That these places are crime ridden based on the statistics and what is reported. Because I know that that's an argument. They're predominantly black. Are they black ran? I know DC is. Baltimore is, even though there was a reported drop of crime. Chicago has the black mayor. But we're saying this is a attack. This is an agenda against black people, right? We coming out kind of the wake of the Charlie Kirk stuff. We've seen an influx at the very least on social media of white people kind of saying, kind of being more honest about how they actually feel, with the girl from Ukraine getting stabbed up. That didn't help matters at all, So where do we stand? Dude, let me ask one more time as we walk down this road, right? Is this an agenda against black people? Is this how we mostly see what's happening? Put a 1 in the chat for yes, put a 2 in the chat for no. Come on, we need to think through this. You know what I mean? We need to think through this. I saw this as we run through this. I saw this. Did y'all see this? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. The Trump administration is moving to remove multiple national park exhibits, photos, and signage related to slavery, racism, indigenous persecution, and other sensitive topics under a March executive order aimed at eliminating what it calls corrosive ideology. Park signage, gift shop materials, and interpretive exhibits are all reported under scrutiny. One of the pieces under review is the historic 1863 photograph, The Scourged Back, attributed to McPherson and Oliver, showing scars on Gordon, an enslaved man's back. This photograph serves as a symbolism of brutality, but also a catalyst for Northern anti-slavery sentiment during the Civil War. Critics, including historians, civil rights advocates, and former park officials, warn this policy risks erasing important parts of American history, silencing stories of suffering, resistance, and systemic injustice. They argue full historical context is vital for truth and accountability. This story is ongoing. We will update as new details emerge. What do you guys think? What's your feeling? And I'm asking Phil. Big Lee said who want to see that at the park. Okay. Let me see. Let's see what else we got. National Park Service has been directed under an executive order to flag and remove exhibits, signs, and photos that reference slavery, racism, and indigenous persecution or topics deemed disparaging. So this one right here is obviously very popular. We've seen this, Sites on the review: Harper's Ferry National Park, Historic Park, the President's House site in Philadelphia. What you guys think? Is this coupled with what we're seeing in terms of what cities are being targeted for National Guard or additional policing, right? Do you think that this is a conflation, or do you think that this is related efforts, essentially? Rewriting history, removing slavery and the brutality of it, right? At the very least from the eyes, focusing on the most negative part of slavery is how it's being framed, right? And then the cities that are crime ridden, right? Largely black. Is this all intentional? Is this a part of the same plot? Does it? Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, Ms. Park. That's better. Does it all go hand in hand? Put a 1 in the chat if you think that this is not coincidental. Do you think that this is much more intentional? Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat. I'm trying to understand, chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that these are just coincidences, things being attacked one by one as they come, or do you think that it's intentional that the parks and all that are being removed and then going to black cities? So mostly 1s in the chat saying that this is more intentional. Okay. Hit the like button, hit the like button, man. Salute. Let me see. Aaron with the $2.5 says Trump is trying to also take licenses away from certain networks. He is following the leaders of these countries Americans hate. Freedom of speech is over. AL with the $5 says, did you see the post about Trump canceling environmental projects in black areas? That would prevent flooding, update, sewage removal from major storms. I did not see that, but we probably need that one for this stream as we walk this down, AL, for sure, man. Hit the like button, hit the like button. Let's see. So this one is a news report about what we just read.
The Trump administration ordered the National Park Service to make changes to a national historic site in West Virginia. According to the order, Harper's Ferry has to remove or cover up exhibits about slavery. Brad Bell reports from the site where visitors are not in agreement with that request.
With its preserved buildings and exhibits, Harper's Ferry National Historic Site tells the story of abolitionist John Brown's 1859 raid on the Federal Armory here. He was after weapons to arm enslaved people to begin a war to end slavery. Well, there are also displays which tell of the hardships endured by those he aimed to free.
At the very heart of the interpretive array for this park is the story of American slavery and how people responded to that in the time of John Brown and that antebellum period.
But historian Alan Spears of the National Parks Conservation Association says he fears half of that story may soon be hidden.
So I'm worried. I'm worried and more than a little frustrated by this.
This is an order from the White House, first reported by the Washington Post, that the National Park Service remove or cover up about 30 signs or displays that have been determined by the Trump administration to disproportionately emphasize negative aspects of American history or historical figures. A park employee speaking to me anonymously today, confirming that yes, they have been ordered to remove or cover up this material, and they've been given just a matter of days to get it done. A source telling me that may include these displays inside the John Brown Museum, telling the sufferer of enslavement. Park visitors we speak, calling that a bad idea.
Don't cover up what we may need to know, and don't hide what you think we shouldn't know.
There were terrible things that happened, and we should feel terrible about it. And to cover it up or to hide it, I'm sorry, I just don't agree with it. I just don't.
During our time in Harpers Ferry, we saw no work to cover or remove any displays yet. We've asked the Park Service what will be taken down and when. We've not heard back.
That removal does stem from an executive order signed on March 27th. It is titled Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History.
Which I think. Do you think that? I mean, I asked twice. I'm gonna ask again. Is this agenda against black people, or do you think we need to remove the negative aspects and the negativity and focus on maybe the triumph or what we are now? I don't even know how to say it, to be honest. Right? I don't say the other side of it, you know. Generally speaking, I want to know everything about any situation so that I can make a realistic, thoughtful, and objective determination. If I'm provided with half the information, then my determination or my sentiments are slightly disingenuous because I don't have all the information. You know? So we look at that. We look at things getting removed. You know, we looked at the influx of, you know, just some of the things you're seeing online, right? And it maybe could be propagandized or it's algorithm based, you know, but just the vitriol, you know, towards black people, essentially, right, is what you can see as a sentiment depending on your algorithm, right? You know, I get so many things sent to me. My algorithm is jacked up for sure, you know, coupled with going into cities that are majority black. And now we have this. Thank you, AL. Washington Post. The Trump administration has axed nearly 24 projects addressing health and environmental issues in southern black communities. A Washington Post analysis found reversing years of work to address pollution, sewage leaks, flooding, and more. Rural Alabama counties lost a $14 million grant to upgrade sanitation systems so decrepit that some sanitation that are so decrepit that some residents have contracted hookworm. A historically black Virginia neighborhood won't receive a $20 million grant to stop severe flooding. Residents and racial justice and environmental advocates say the cuts and cancellations leave black communities without the resources to solve long-term problems and neglect that have been contributed to deep racial inequities across the region. The Post's analysis of grant databases and interviews with advocates and nonprofits that spearheaded the efforts identified 22 affected projects that lost grant funding or were undertaken by agency-led lawsuits, orders, and protections. The efforts spanned several federal agencies, including the EPA and the Department of Justice, Interior, and Agriculture. Take a closer look at some of the cancellations, several of which are being challenged in court by tapping the link at Washington Post bio. So, okay, so it's just kind of showing these pictures. I don't know if these pictures are like arbitrary or what. Okay, so here's the thing. So nearly 24 climate justice programs acts under Trump. Here's a sampling of the projects addressing health and environmental issues in Southern Black communities that have been canceled this year. So in Jackson, Mississippi, EPA 20 million for residents providing shelter, water, and support climate disaster. In North Carolina, $11 million grant to support weatherization of homes. 75,000 in Birmingham, Alabama, grant to support air quality monitoring efforts. 1 million in Savannah, grant to offer lower or no cost efficiency service to vulnerable residents. And so it goes on and on. These ones don't have a number. So, now I wonder. Oh, shit. Am I breaking up? I'm good now. Check. I wonder. Now, here's what I do have to ask. I'm good. Here's what I do have to ask, though. If these funds were they pulled from like this particular budget? So does it affect all communities, kind of? You know what I'm saying? Like the EPA, if EPA funding was pulled, do you think it was just like pulled generally, or do you think that these places were targeted? Predominantly Black were targeted. Because it seems like it's like $100 million. No, probably like 60 or 70 million dollars that they showed right there. Yeah, because that's what I was kind of thinking, Will. Like these places, like the EPA probably just got funding pulled, and these places are affected that are largely Black. But I think it's kind of just, I think it may just be more about the funding effort being pulled for things that they don't deem necessary. And whoever was a part of that budget is going to be affected. These places are Black. And it's not a whole bunch of money in the grand scheme. It looks to be about 65 or $70 million, although these places don't have a number. Yeah, I think this is a residual of, the cuts. But nonetheless, right, as we assess. Now, this situation, I need thoughts on Trey Reed. The death of Trey Reed, found hanging from a tree in Mississippi, has been ruled a suicide. So this report came out about
the Delta State University student who was found dead on campus earlier this week. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Stephanie Skurlock.
And I'm Greg Hurst. The Cleveland, Mississippi Police Department says the autopsy confirms that sadly 21-year-old Trey Reed died by suicide. Reed's body was found early Monday morning hanging from a tree on the Delta State campus. Cleveland police say the case remains an active investigation, and they're still waiting on the final toxicology report, which could take 2 to 4 weeks to complete. In the meantime, investigators have turned over all case files to the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office for review. Our Mike Sirianni was in Reed's hometown of Grenada, Mississippi today, and he'll have more on this story tonight on News Channel 3 at 6.
So, I was trying to, because, I know you guys saw all the reports and such, right?
And being racist. And they was trying to lock me up until I had multiple people homophobic trans. Somebody tried to report me. My big incident happened. There's a lot of shit that happens on that campus that don't nobody do shit about. It was incidents before my incidents.
Oh shit, I know what's happening. I had lost power for a second and it went to my phone. All right, hold on. It might stop for a second, but I gotta transfer to my home Wi-Fi. I'm good. Damn, man, I was doing all that talking. Can y'all hear me? Well, I covered mad shit too under there too.
Big incident happened that I reported that nobody on that campus that don't know about that happened with sit-in. I'm trying to be composed in this video, and I'm trying to keep it all together. But it's a lot of shit that happens on that campus that don't nobody do shit about. It was incidents before my incidents. My big incident happened that I reported that nobody did nothing about. Somebody tried to report me for a hate crime, and they was the one being homophobic, transphobic, and being racist. And they was trying to lock me up until I had multiple people come out and speak against him. There was an incident that I reported that it was a group of white students in a white truck while I was a freshman. They yelled at me and my friends and called us a bunch of monkeys. Please do a deep dive on this. Please, 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 please do your research on this. Do not let them sweep nothing else under the rug. Enough is enough.
He's talking the way someone who's experienced previous instances of conflicts, confrontations, and racism on that campus or in the nearby areas being swept under the rug. It's almost like he's not just making it up out of nowhere. But this is the thing. Our approach to these types of stories always just goes by the way.
So that's his cousin, right? And he's saying, yo, there's a lot of shit happening on these campuses in and or around. Now, I want to hear if he reveals in some way, shape, or form if Trey himself was homosexual or anything of that nature, right? Because now that adds another nuance to it, essentially. So if they were yelling out LGBTQ slurs to him and they're saying that that's his cousin, I wonder what are the correlations, what type of crime could this be? Because so many of us are skeptical that it was just suicide, right? Let's listen a little bit more.
Side, whatever, something else just happened. Actually, not even that much. Like I said, when I first saw this from a couple of folks that were just telling me about it, there was no full news coverage on it. There wasn't even local news coverage on it that I could see. I feel like it's something that is a good talk about it.
Authorities say the body of 21-year-old Demontravion Trey Reed was found hanged from a tree by a faculty member near the pickleball courts. Word spread quickly throughout the Cleveland campus, leaving students and others concerned and worried.
Well, because I am a black student, hearing that happened to another black student, it really made me feel, it's making me feel unsafe. I do have to walk to class and I like to go walk on the track, and it would be happy to know like what happened.
Local and state investigators immediately started looking into the incident. DSU Police Chief Michael Peeler says investigators found no evidence of foul play.
But pending an investigation, further investigation, and also from the medical examiner's office, we won't have more information until that part has been done.
People are looking for urgency and a sense of importance being placed on.
So here's the thing, right? They said that, and so the short clip, 60-second clip I played showed that they ruled it a suicide from the medical examiner's office. They're looking to get the toxicology report that takes a couple weeks. But in terms of the medical examiner specifically, when they did the autopsy, they ruled it a suicide, as we heard from the news report.
The life of someone that potentially was murdered. And then, of course, in the manner in which they found his body, being very particular to the way we've seen our country's history regularly do these things. These are the types of things that I think need to be. Vanessa Jones of the Jones Law Firm, who's representing that Reed family, told the media that the family's still waiting for some answers. Doesn't make much sense, does it? The family does not know exactly what happened on September 15th, she said. We're seeking answers from Delta State University. We're seeking answers from the coroner's office. So imagine, you find your family member there in that state, and this is the response you get from authorities. The investigation is conducted by the Cleveland Police Department. Sure. As of this time, he said, there's no evidence of foul play. While there's no evidence of foul play, the body has been retrieved by the Bolivar County Coroner's Office. And according to the Mississippi Free Press, Bolivar County Deputy Coroner Murray Rourke, who assisted that medical examination of his body, said that there was no evidence of broken arms or legs, despite what it is that his family member had said to his other family member. Last quote here. I don't think I should probably discuss this any further than that. My opinion is that it was self-done, and I have reasons for that, is what he said, despite the death still being in this active investigation. So he wants to come forward and make sure people don't jump to conclusions because of what he's seen already, but he said it's his opinion. I'm not sure if that's the medical opinion. I'm not sure if that's conclusions of the autopsy. We'll see. But here's probably one of the worst aspects of this with his family. Vanessa Jones of that law firm criticized Delta State University and Boulevard County officials, who we just talked about, telling the Mississippi Free Press that both had left the Reed family completely in the dark after the discovery of Trey Reed's body, failing to properly communicate with them in their darkest moment. The lawyer said that the media knew about Trey's death before the family did. Why is that? It gives energy to this thought.
The family does not know exactly what happened on September the 15th of 2025. We are seeking answers from Delta State University. We're seeking answers from the coroner's office. We need answers. As of this point, the family of Trey Reed has not even received a phone call from the president of Delta State University and to tell them exactly what happened to their child that they entrusted to Delta State University. As we move forward, we're just looking for answers that a simple camera on the university's campus will answer. There are a lot of unanswered questions here, and the family just wants some answers from top officials at the university and at the coroner's office. Does anyone have any questions? Yes. Well,
What y'all think, man? Let me ask you two questions. What y'all think? What y'all feel? What you think? What you feel? What you think and what you feel? Let me ask y'all a question. What do you think and what you feel? Third question. How much does the climate have to do with how you feel? They're removing your history. They are bringing military to your cities. Little black boy got hanged. Charlie Kirk gets Charlie Kirk gets murdered. Dude in my white boy in my chat says, white niceness is over. Repeal the 13th Amendment. We got an influx of stuff being put in our faces. White power, white cities, white owned cities and all this, white only cities, right? You know? So where does it leave you? Mr. Jones, what up? What you think, how you feel, how much does the climate that we're in right now have to do with how you feel? I'm just asking. I'm looking for the feedback. I'm trying to understand, you know what I'm saying? Where we at with all this? I'm trying to look for one more thing. So, I don't know if I saved it. I don't think I saved it. I'm just asking. Right? How real is it? How real is it? Here goes Cecil. Here goes Cecil right here. This iconic picture. This Cecil right here. That's Cecil right there. Cecil Williams, 87 years old, known for the iconic photo of him drinking from a whites-only water fountain, pulled up on the younger generation and took the stage in New York Fashion Week. Ain't as old as you think, I guess, right? Now, my man Cecil, 87. But he's still here, though. He's still breathing, though. How does this make you feel? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. How does it make you feel? What's the climate? Boy hanging from a tree. Your exhibits being removed. Military in your cities. What's up? What y'all think? Cecil's still alive. What you think? If you don't feel what you think, is there something to it? Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Let me show you this. I'm asking. I'm looking for the commentary. I'm going to play this a little bit. We coming off the wake of Charlie Kirk. We got 8 black men up here. We got 8 black men up here. Let's listen to the conversation. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.
Problem with black folks' reaction to Charlie Kirk, not understanding that, well, that reaction was based on his behavior, right? And the things that he said, right? So if you can say that this man made this post about skinning kids, but it was based on a fight between 2 grown men, right? Then why we can't extend that same grace to people who are just reacting with their little distasteful comments about this dude who died, who had a lot of negative ass shit to say about black people without context, and a lot of times he just straight up lied.
You know, so were you on? Because are you done being?
Yeah, I'm asking you a question.
I said that.
Well, oblige me if you don't mind, because I think Will maybe feels similar to what you're saying. I
just want to correct this one thing.
What I'm looking at is me and you've been talking a lot. That's all.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just saying that Will was shaking his head when Beans was talking, so maybe his retort will be likened to yours. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
What up, Hap? What up, fellas?
What's goody?
What's going on with you, Sil? Nothing much. God bless each and every last one of you. Hope you're having a good day.
Bless you too. Bless you too.
Appreciate it. Charlie Kirk never said nothing racist since he's been speaking since 2012. And I find it funny that a lot of people are just now finding offense when there is none, just because of sound bites and clips that's being posted. And it's funny that people have smoke for the things that he's saying that is directed towards the black community. But the problem is he was being asked about the black community. And a lot of things that he's saying about the black community has been repeated since before he started talking and after he started talking in 2012. So why all of a sudden now we want to have smoke for the white boy? Because he's saying that the problem in the black community is fatherless homes.
Okay. I know that wasn't directed at me, but I would like to prove a point once and for all that you niggas is full of shit. Will, if Charlie Kirk said that Juneteenth shouldn't be a holiday, in your opinion, what do you think would be the justification for that take?
That black people have been saying that Juneteenth shouldn't be a holiday for years, before Charlie Kirk was known for being famous for saying it.
Absolutely. Hamp, is that what I asked him?
No.
Okay.
So
he did ask him that. Exactly what he asked. He retorted your answer with the question.
It's not what I asked him.
So
I heard it as no, that's not what he asked him, right? Mr. Fantastic heard it differently from me. That's fine. Let's do it. Yeah. Pose the question again, please.
If Charlie Kirk said that Juneteenth shouldn't be a holiday, Will, in your opinion, what do you think the justification of that would be?
That it shouldn't. Hold on, wait. He right. I didn't answer the question. He right. My
He
bad.
said
I
black
didn't
people
answer.
been saying the same thing.
What would justify Charlie Kirk saying that is looking at the holiday of Juneteenth and understand that it's a fabrication of falsity and that it should not be there and we should not be celebrating.
What's false about it?
What's false about it? It's a false day.
What's false? You can't. Okay, what's false about it? It's false. It's not an answer.
You asked me about a justification.
Absolutely. I said what's false about it.
Right. We celebrate the day of what? What is Juneteenth?
You're answering my question with a question now.
No, I answered your question. Now I'm
You
asking. I did. I answered your question. Now I'm asking you a question. I said that it's false, and I'm asking you what is Juneteenth?
Right. No, sir. Listen, that's not how this goes. Right. You're
That is
answering
how-
my question.
You
This is
asked the
true,
question. I
but you're
answered
not
it.
answering it.
I answered the question.
You said something that's not true. Right. You said that it's a
No,
false holiday.
I gave you my answer.
What makes it false?
I gave you my answer. My
Okay,
question
so then
is,
you got it.
what is Juneteenth?
You got it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, hold on. Don't
What are we doing?
run it over. Don't run it over. No, but I know. Let me just don't run it over. Right. So Will was saying it's a day that's not rooted in facts. So why is it being celebrated? Will, are you alleging or is it speculation that it's almost made up? In terms
It is.
of
It is made up. It is made up.
So he's saying it's just some bullshit that just pulled out of thin air. But then I guess, Will, my simple thing is, ain't that all holidays?
Yes.
Christmas?
Yeah.
Yes, and that's my point. And that's my point of saying my
That's your
statement.
point.
So
So
now,
why push
my
back at
question-
that one? Why not push back at Valentine's Day?
I don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
Fourth
So
of
No,
July.
I'm saying Charlie Kirk, why not? Why is he worried about Juneteenth? What about why we get rid of Valentine's?
because he was asked about Juneteenth, and this
He
is what
wasn't.
you. Hold on, wait, no, stop. Yes, he was. He's been
Wait,
asked. Yes, he was multiple times over the years since 2012. He's been asked about specifically about the Black community from Black people. He's been asked specifically about the Black community from the Rainbow Coalition. He's been asked specifically.
Now, setting, you heard? It's 9 black men. My bad, y'all. 9 black men. We having a conversation about was Charlie Kirk racist or not? Right? Listen to the back and forth. I just want y'all to consume the information. Okay? My question is, what do you think? How do you feel? The climate, how does it affect your feelings? Those are my 3 questions. One of the moderators typed that in the chat. This is interactive, okay? I watched this. I'm the one that clipped it. Right? I'm the one that conducted it. Right? Now what's on the table right now is Kirk was asked questions that he answered. It was said that he never said one racist thing since 2012. It's 9 black men up here having a conversation.
About the Black community from white people. See, everyone always wants to cherry pick his answers because everyone only wants to ask him about the Black community. This is why they say, well, he never gave any answers or nor did he condemn the white community. But my question is this: if I ask you, him, Beans is wearing a blue do-rag, do you agree?
No.
And you would say no, right? So I would say, oh, so you're racist against the color red. Well, how can I say that if you see red? I can't give you a directed narrative question and then call you a racist because you didn't want to recognize the color as blue.
Okay.
But again, people have smoke for Charlie Kirk sound bites.
Yeah.
But,
I understand your point. I understand
Okay.
your point, right? You saying that he answers questions that are asked, right? They're not in the sound bites, it's only showing his answer and not the question, right?
Not the context of the
What if he wasn't asked anything? What if he was literally on his own Instagram in his car and went live to make the statement and
Great.
then said goodbye and left?
Great. Now I'm glad that you brought that up because of people's feelings and emotions and their misrepresentation of his context. They want to paint him as a narrative.
Okay. So, Beans, do you have that by chance, Beans?
Absolutely, but it's irrelevant.
I want to
Because
see it,
he's
right? Now, here's the thing, right? We assessing this. This is really real, you heard? This is really important. This is really serious. Know what I'm saying? This is really important. This is really serious. I want y'all to assess everything that's happening on the screen. Being said multiple times, it said that I'm the best moderator around here, right? So now look at this. Look at this from my lens. I'm looking at everything happening. I'm assessing how long people are speaking, their facial expressions, Who agrees? Who disagrees? Are we filibustering, right? Are we pontificating? Are people trying to obfuscate when making a points or answering a question? Who's being genuine, right? Are we saying things just to say them? You know, I'm looking at all of it, right? I'm looking at all the conduct, everything that's being said, not just what that's being said. So I'm saying, y'all step back and then listen to all of this shit with your ears and your eyes. Because my title is Fake Outrage. Hit this play.
If we're not gonna force him, to stand on truth, it's irrelevant. Why play the clip?
It's not irrelevant, though.
Go ahead, Ms. Vance, you got it. Beans, if you wouldn't mind, can you send that or can you share your screen with that video? Because, Will, that video is unprovoked, right? So it's unadulterated. He hits the live button and speaks on something under his own, what's the word I'm looking for, Aaron? Not fruition, under his own
volition.
Yeah, and in that case, that's not the same. That's not the same circumstance.
Right. That's
They
him.
somebody asked him about it.
No, no one asked him about it. He went live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Can you share that, please?
This is what I'm saying, bro.
Go ahead. So let's do this, Mr. Fantastic. Let's get Arnold, and then we'll introduce Tommy. Tommy was goody.
So my first thing to Beans was Beans. I wasn't doing anything to get racist on and so forth. I was correcting Nightish because Nightish made it seem as if I was directly talking to Nightish, and it was in response to something. He said he just did it for no reason.
And what I'm asking y'all, I'm tasking y'all. Look at everything. Mr. Fantastic is talking right now. Look at everything. Watch everything.
I directly responded to Night and said, no, it was not a direct, just not done. He gave the reason for it. And I'm Hamp, didn't you read it in the thing? You read it. They actually read it. It was on the, you read it in the, what's the Instagram post, right? It said it brought up the Roger Jackson thing and all those stuff with the dude that talked about skinning the kids.
Oh yeah, I read through that.
Yeah. So I was correcting Nightish. It's not me giving grace. Again, a nigga telling the truth about the white man is giving grace and wanting to be white and all sorts of shit.
That, bro. It's not.
What do you mean? It's not that.
Okay, wait. Let me give you.
So now
I know, but I'm just saying. Let's have a conversation. Let me give you an accurate example. So I don't like it when somebody says the word dog. Nightish says dog, and I don't like it, and I'm like, man, I don't like when people say that word, but I know why you said it though. Then you say the word dog, and I'm like, man, see, niggas, no, I don't like that word, bro. Like this, all you niggas do. You want to sit on the panel and say dog all day, bro. That's what you do. Don't make me go clip the shit up to show the world that that's what you do. When you talking about black people doing something, you speak about it as if it's in general. You say things like you niggas. You don't say it's a small percentage of you niggas. You say you niggas, right? That's how you talk, bro. So don't make it seem like I'm making something up. When I say that you giving grace, I'm not saying like you dick holding. That's why I'm using the term giving grace, because I'm just saying the way you speaking about it, you saying this man being upset behind another man beating another man up was provoked to say I'm a skin children.
Provoked. Now you're adding words to it.
You said don't make it seem like he just did it for no reason.
So he did.
What the fuck is that? Is that not provocation?
It's a fact.
So now the conversation is about. I put up some fat white dude saying that on the wake of everything that's been happening, he want to go to a school with little black kids and skin them alive. That's what they're conversing about now, right? And Nightish and Mr. Fantastic had an interaction. So when Mr. Fantastic got the microphone back, he started addressing said interaction, and now Beans is saying, "What makes you justify or reason to why the man said that?" And now the conversation is about, was the man provoked to say that, or was it unelicited and he said it anyway?
And that's what I'm saying. You niggas are so emotional. This is why I can't stand you niggas. Okay? I can't stand you niggas. We here now, right? I can't stand you niggas that look for an excuse to be a motherfucking victim in this race shit, bro.
Wait, but Fantastic, is that not provocation? If you're saying that he had a reason to do it, is that not provocation?
It is provocation, but I'm not motherfucking talking about it for the provocation to justify it. I'm just simply correcting someone for saying something that's not motherfucking correct on the fucking broadcast. What are you saying?
Fantastic, I didn't accuse you of justifying it.
I ain't cut nobody off.
But Fantastic, don't do that because I didn't accuse you of justifying it.
Everybody
lying, bro. Don't lie on me. I'm not going to.
Well, you doing it in real time.
He didn't say you justified. He didn't say you justified.
I didn't say you justified it.
Yeah,
you
so
said, bro.
Mr. Fantastic, if you don't mind, what is the contentious point right now that we discussing?
The contentious point, bro, is again, he's doing exactly what he I guess he could say, I'm doing it. You're saying I'm bringing it up as provocation. Why would you say provocation? Because I'm saying, oh, that's so it provoked him to do it. You're trying to insinuate that I justified it because saying he was provoked.
I'm not.
So why would you use that word? Hold on. Your number one thing that you always say is word means things. Okay. All I simply said, and I specifically told you, 90 said something that was not factual, and I gave the context as to why what was said. Hamp literally read the shit on the fucking screen himself, the whole scenario. Okay, it's not because of me giving grace or none of this shit. So everything you're saying is being motherfucking inflammatory. Even saying I'm giving grace to a situation to where a white man threatened about fucking skinning and killing black kids. That's
what the great. Okay,
hold on. The fact of the matter, you don't think I should defend myself in that and be offended by you even doing anything close to that is crazy in itself.
So I want to skip by this part a little bit because it's a conversation about the conversation, but I don't want y'all to admit. I want y'all to see it. This was Monday. I want y'all to hear it. I want y'all to see it. Right? What we going through, what we got contention. What's wrong with my mic? Check. Right? I want y'all to see it. I don't want to skip too much because I don't want it, maybe we miss something or misconstrue, right? But there's more substance to the latter part of this conversation. This part is more conversation about the conversation, but I want y'all to see it. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Seth. Right? That's why I'm not skipping.
It's fucking ridiculous, dog.
What did I say was non-factual, though?
Hold on, 90s, please.
You said he just did it unprovoked, 90s. I don't know what you said exactly or whatever. You said he just did it or something before Hamp read the thing.
Yeah, he had no reason to say that about some kids because he was mad at the podcast. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. What 90s said was that he just did it, just like whatever. No, and I'm telling you the full context of the situation. An excuse that he might use is, oh well, I was mad because of the Roger Jackson situation.
Yeah,
now onto the Will part of it is that Will, you did answer him the first time. He asked you what would be the justification for that, and you said, oh well, it's justified because black people had already done it. It's justified because if the black people had did the same shit that y'all mad at Charlie Kirk about, saying, hey, Juneteenth don't need to be no holiday, that's justification. That's the direct answer to the fucking question.
You're literally right now arguing that if somebody else said something, that's justification for me saying the same thing.
So I had to oversimplify things. That's why I had to restate the answer.
Yes. Hold on. So the question would be this. So the follow-up question. So why weren't you mad when the nigga said it?
Exactly.
Why weren't you mad when black people said it?
Exactly.
Right. Okay, cool. Here's the thing.
So now here's the thing about this, right? When we're just talking about the conversation, right? You take exception when Kirk says it. We never mind it if black people say it. Bean saying, I don't care what he said. I'm assessing what you said. What he said has nothing to do with what you said, nor is it a catalyst for what you said. You were responsible for what you said, regardless of what anybody else said. So it's looking at hypocrisy, but also accountability, right? There's two things happening here. But just assess us, right? It's 8 black men having a conversation.
I wasn't mad when he said it. That's not the point.
Why are you racist?
Fantastic. Can I have a second? First of all, the question was, why would he? So let me give you an example so nobody can pretend like they don't understand. We got first-degree murder, we got second-degree murder, we got manslaughter, involuntary manslaughter, negligent homicide. Why do all of those exist? Because people do the same thing for different fucking reasons. So if I say June 19th shouldn't be a holiday, my reason for saying that does not mean it's the same fucking reason if Charlie Kirk says it.
Prove it.
It sounds quick. I don't have to. All I have to do is acknowledge that it don't. See how you over talking me now? I don't have to.
We almost
just a fan say, okay, cool. So I'm saying let's do that then. Don't whine and complain when I do it to you. What I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. That sounds insane. Just because I think it's not a reason for, just because I said it is not a reason for you to say it. You don't say every fucking thing I say. You have your own reason why we agree on shit. Me and you both can agree on something, and you will have a whole different total reason why you think it, and I'll have another reason why I think it. You know that that's true. So what I'm saying is when we listen to Charlie Kirk, what I asked him was, and I asked him for his opinion. So technically he did answer my question, but it was on a technicality. What I said was, in your opinion, why do you think he would say that? And he said, because black people said it. Fantastic. Yes or no? Please, brother, I'm begging you to be genuine. Do you think anything that comes out of Charlie Kirk's mouth is said because black people say it? Or do you think he thinks for himself?
I think it has bearing from what black people say, the opinion, yeah. you asked me the question, then I answer it. So being that he has being that he has close ties to, and that's just dumb niggas laughing. Niggas that are very, very low IQ.
I gotta be a dumb nigga though.
Because you're being a dumb nigga. Because you have emotional attachment to something, right? What you do is you do immature shit, you laugh and giggle like a bitch. But it's okay.
I'm not a bitch, I'm not a dumb nigga. What I'm saying is their default is being black people.
Right? So this
even though we're a minority, even though we don't have the kind of power that you're trying to suggest that we have, the default. I understand he asked you a question, but you keep putting
again, bro. Listen, this is the thing, right? So again, to act like he wasn't close friends with actual black people and conservatives that he has intimate knowledge of that may have, told them their problems and their ideology. Y'all don't even consider that, right? The people that are around you have no impact on your fucking ideology and your thought process on the subject matter in any way, right, Beans? You just, oh, I'm white and they black, so fuck them, and they this and they that, and fuck Juneteenth.
In the macro, yes, I agree with you.
Let me get,
You do, because it's factual. So that's why. So how are you expecting? You're asking fucking Will. So what do you think Charlie Kirk thought? It could be anything. The fuck? I don't know what his opinion was. The justification was. Hold on, fam. I'm gonna wrap it up.
Absolutely.
The justification is this: if you say it, it's okay for me to fucking say it. You can't be mad at me saying it. It may not be correct. It may be a cop out. It may be whatever the fuck you want to call it. But Beans, if you say some wild shit and I say some wild shit, me repeating you saying it, you don't have the right to fucking get mad for me saying some shit you said. That is the essence of the motherfucking argument. If black people go out here saying this and that and this and that and all this other shit, so on and so forth, you can't only be upset when a white person says the shit. That's the fucking whole point of the argument, bro.
Okay, fantastic. I understand the argument. But what I'm saying is that you see how I'm giving you my understanding, right? Now,
okay, good. So now we assessing it, right? We assessing it. You know, we're just listening to it, right? And I'm about to get to my point. I just want to make sure that y'all have a little bit of context of what we went through this week and all that. You know what I mean? Right? I just want everybody to hear it, right? I just want everybody to hear it. You know, here's a couple of things I want y'all to assess. Look at Nidus' response to when Mr. Fantastic used some inflammatory words. I applaud Knight for how he responded. I can also acknowledge Knight the Knight laughing like that is done intentionally to be annoying or to let people know you disagree, right? But what Mr. Fantastic said, right? Knight really took the high road there, right? So I can see it, right? Because I'm asking y'all to look at this shit when I'm looking at the shit. I see Mr. Williams' face, right? He don't agree with nothing Mr. Fantastic or Will has said so far. Tommy was in the chat before this. He got up here. Tommy ready to talk his shit. He obliging me by being polite. Beans and Mr. Fantastic are working through verbiage and verbs, right? And the connotations of most things, not the denotation, right? They're looking at the interpretation of how things are understood and said, and what justifies you saying it. What's the catalyst for you saying it? You have black friends, so does that mean what exactly? Right? So it's interesting. This is how I'm kind of when I be assessing the whole thing. Arnold probably aligns more with what Beans is saying and these sentiments about you know, Kirk and whomever being racist for real. But there's some big personalities up here. Beans, Mr. Fantastic, Will, Knight, Tommy, and Mr. Williams, honestly. And Big, I'm saying, like, you know, they talk for a long while, right? They get their words in. It's hard to talk over them. They pronounce, they project, right? It was a lot going on. Arnold in between work and whatever, but he left. And I had actually said his name while they were going back and forth for him to get in before Tommy. See, I'm watching all this shit because this is a conversation that ain't about dick and pussy. This ain't about niggas and bitches. This is about black people feel, how people felt about black people. You know what I'm saying? The whole 9 yards. What's happening looking at the landscape. That's why I got 3 questions. Dr. G, can you post some 3 questions? What do you think? How do you feel? And how is the landscape affecting how you think? I know for a fact, right? And this is where I take onus. I said, Arnold, I need you to get in, right? But I wanted them to work through it. So I think that was a good decision, but it had a residual effect. But on this particular conversation, we needed Arnold's opinion.
I'm asking you for yours. I'm saying in reality, though, There's no way that you believe that this man makes those kind of statements based on anybody else but himself. This man, he isn't lauded the way he's lauded. Flags flying at half staff and all this. My whole YouTube timeline is Charlie Kirk. That ain't because he went around regurgitating other people's talking points. He is being lauded as the one who provokes the conversation. He goes across the world, from state to state, to country to country, to continent to continent, debating and having the conversations. Nobody believes that anything this man says out of his mouth is coming from anybody else. It's all coming from him. So hold on real quick. I shared the video, Hamp. It's down there if you can see it.
Okay, everybody, a lot of people are going to be saying happy.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, Tommy been patient too. Is Tommy saying?
Yeah,
he's there.
Yeah, I'm here.
It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work.
You got to rewind it.
Have a good day.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Okay, everybody, a lot of people are going to be saying happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day.
Where's the provocation?
There's no provocation. What's the problem?
Where's the question being asked?
No, my question to you is there is no. Wait, Tommy, hold on. I'm answering Vince. There is no provocation. He uploaded the video. He said what he said. What's the problem?
The problem is that you lied, and I want you to take accountability for lying.
For saying what?
That somebody asked him.
Okay, so that video someone asked him in a debate that he had in 2014, I want to say it was, a black person approached him and they asked him that same question. If the video was still up, I would go find it for you. But a lot of those videos is down because he changed up his platform. But again, I've been watching this man since 2012. You can't play me something from recent and say, well, this is the reason why he's racist. And I can tell you about the conversation, just like the conversation that he had at Oxford College when they was lying on Trump and they lied on the FBI and they lied on the CIA. See, this is the problem. A lot of people are chiming in to what Charlie Kirk has said then and now, and they just now get into the conversation. And
so here's what Will's saying. That video is that video. Understood. He's been asked about this before, right? And he's answered based on provocation. There was a subtle concession from Will that video was unprovoked, understood. But he's been asked about this multiple times for so many years. Will's articulating that the issue with most people regarding Kirk was we just seen him. So now the clips are how we formulate our opinion of him, not understanding that a lot of things that he's speaking on are either clipped or people asking for his opinion on such subject matter. Because y'all doing my role now. You see? So when you're doing this role, you got to hear people for what they saying, regardless if you agree or disagree. So when Bean say he just lied, the omission is omission. People describe that as lying, but Will saying the context of everything matters. When I say he's not answering questions, he's not saying things unprovoked because he's giving credence to the entire timeline. But Beans is saying with this exact video, nobody asked him to say that shit. He was in his car going to work and said it by himself.
they're not listening subjectively, they're listening objectively because of their racism.
Right, absolutely.
All he said was that he was.
Hold on, Max, please. Hold on. Now, since I've been on this show today, have you heard me say that Charlie Kirk was a racist one time?
No.
Okay. I didn't say you. I'm talking in general. But you're taking it personally.
I'm not. You're talking to me, and I'm looking for answers for what I'm saying out of my mouth, and you're responding in these general ass.
No, I answered. Right? I answered you.
Right?
I got you. And I answered
the same way how you over talking to me now, right? And you don't want nobody to do it to you. You're responding in this
Listen. I'm not. The conversation is unproductive with all the decorum. That's it. That's the key word. So we can be more productive and get through it. All right. Now, interjections happen during the conversation, but we just got to try to lessen them as much as possible because this is important. This is substantive. We ain't talking about bad behavior in relationships right now. All right. So I'm asking. Who had the floor? Was Bean saying something?
Just go to Tommy because we're trying to get to him.
All right, y'all want to get Tommy because the thing is, we get Tommy in. He's not gonna go straight far from what we're talking about anyway. He right here on the conversation. Tommy, what's good?
What's up, y'all? Well, even going off of what you said, Will, his last words prove you wrong because his last words. The question was not about black people at all. When they asked him about that, we all know what he was talking about, and that's a great diversion. It's a great.
No, I'm not saying anything. I want you to finish.
Now, I gotta tell y'all some shit. But I want y'all to hear this back and forth, all right? I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, but I want y'all to hear this back and forth. Dr. G, if you don't mind, please post them 3 questions again, man.
to oh, but are we including this? I said this somewhere else. The ironic part about it is the exact day that shit happened to him, what that person asked him about happened that day. That's what they were talking about. But his diversion tactic was, well, are we going to include? Nobody asked you about that. And that was kind of one of his strategies of how I feel he was pushing propaganda. One of the things that really turned me off to him, and it wasn't a quote I seen printed, I seen him say it out his mouth, was the Martin Luther King thing. He was an awful man. He was a rapist. Wait, huh? A man that was under FBI watch 24 hours, a man that they wanted to shut down his situation, and you mean to tell me they just kicked their feet up and just watched him go around and just rape women? Like, that don't even make sense. But that's what he was pushing. I also seen him one time where he was pushing these statistics, and he said out his mouth, mind you, he's a multimillionaire. Google is free. So in my head, you're doing this on purpose. Absolutely. Black people make up 50% of the prison population. Wrong. White people do. Black people make up 38. So in my head, I'm going, is he doing this because this is what he believes, or does he want to push this to somebody who he knows isn't going to double back and check these numbers and just go off of what you said? Most people are going to do that. They're not going to double back and check the numbers. They go off of what you said. So now you got people walking around thinking black people make up 50% of the prison population, and they don't. He said we have more M's. No, we don't. Now you can go, oh, he meant, no, I don't give a fuck what he meant. Again, what we say, words mean something. And he said, from what I understand, an intelligent person. He said we have more crime. He said we have more, as in totality, not per capita. That's what he said out of his mouth. That's propaganda that's pushed. And I think this misnomer of people are mad because of a disagreement is not of a disagreement. I think what's making people even more mad is, again, when you have half-mast flags, and you literally in April had a government official, a congresswoman, get knocked down, and they didn't even do that for her. If you don't see that as a problem, I don't even know what to say. And I don't care what side of you on, left, right, it doesn't matter. If somebody that worked as a congressperson passes away, and you don't fly the flag at half-staff, but somebody who, if you don't see that, that's crazy to me.
Okay, cool. So the very last question to Charlie Kirk was, do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Let me read these real quick. Omar! Wow! My OG Omar Smith in the building, man. Hey, man, I love you, man. I miss you. I hope all is well, man. It's so good to see you. You ain't a Seminole, boy. Yo, they ain't watched Tombstone like that. Greatest movie line ever. Our people always let others define them. Why do we care so much about approval and love from others? Omar with the $5 says, I don't know anything about Mr. Charlie, but it would probably be easy to find things he did in order to correct the wrongs that spoke about. Yeah, 100%. And I think Omar, your super chat was timely with what Tommy was saying, because he's talking about narrative and incorrect information being just broadcast. That's what Tommy was taking exception with. You saying the stats wrong to further a point, but those stats are inaccurate, right? That's his challenge. Li with the $10 says, I hope Buddy Will is in the bushes watching the playback on how he got cooked by BB. I think it's not Will was here. I think cooked is subjective, but Will was here. I think Will is here. And with the $2 says, someone compared this man to Martin Luther King. Shaking my head. I want to play a little bit more, and I got something to say.
Kirk responded, too many. He followed up with a question. He says, do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Kirk responded, counting or not counting gang violence. Now, let me ask a question. Where does gang violence have to do with black people? And please do not paint the narrative that the word gang means black, because if I'm Japanese, the word gang means Yakuza. If I'm Chinese, the word gang means triad. If I'm Haitian, the word gang could be anything. So again, please tell me, no, excuse me, I don't need you right now, Mr. Google. Please tell me how a white person asks another white person about mass shooters, and the white person says gang violence. How does that attribute to black people? Please, by all means.
As I was being called,
I only want no, don't jump in. No, nobody jump in and save him. Go ahead.
Ain't no saving. We got, 9 people on the panel. When you say the word gang violence, what's the first thing that come to head? I'll wait.
Sure, 9 black people on the panel. What's the first thing y'all think of when y'all hear gang?
You blaming black people for your own ideology about how you think.
Let him talk. Exactly. 9 black people on the panel. What's the first thing y'all think of when y'all hear the word gang?
Black.
What's the first thing you think of when you hear the word thug?
Self-inflicted.
Oh, okay. So then that would mean that people are making appointments to be offended by words. So you said words mean something. Tell me.
No, you asked the question. What we
Yo. Question is, Charlie Kirk only saying the shit y'all already think. But because he said it, y'all feeling some type of way. That's what they're laying out. Mr. Fantastic says self-inflicted. Y'all niggas call each other thug and gang, and we love the street life, and we love our gangs and etc. Let's see what the retort is. Y'all stop butting in. Stop butting in.
Come on, man. We're talking about white on white crime, right? So
let him respond. Hey, Will, let him respond. That's a point that deserves a response for sure. So Tommy, what Tommy? Did he freeze?
No, he there. He moving.
The question on the table is our assumption, and you're saying a safe assumption for most people is that when they hear gang, we see black. Is that a fault of Charlie Kirk? I just want to understand.
You let me that?
Yes, sir.
I think that's just in general because of how we've been. Okay, there's certain words, right? There's white thugs. We know this.
Yeah.
Whenever you hear the word thug, white don't pop up in your head. Is that because of us, or is that because that's how America's pretty much conditioned everybody to think?
So if I'm Italian, I hear the word. If I hear the word gang, do I think of a mob?
They don't call each other gangs.
Okay, so if I hear mob, do I think of what they call themselves?
If you heard mob, you think of Italian.
Okay, so if you heard mob, you think of Italian. So if you hear gang, you automatically think black. So let me ask you a question. What do you call a violent group of white people?
You can call them. They call them mob, but they don't have. What I'm saying is there is a specific word besides maybe like white supremacists.
So Will, let me ask a question to Will. So Will, what is being proposed is the inference, right? So is it safe to say that when he says gang, the inference for the majority of people is that he's referring to black people?
No,
you can't say black people, right? In that breath.
He wasn't talking about. This is my opinion because I'm not Charlie Kirk. I don't know what he was talking about. But in my opinion, this is what he was talking about. The previous question was about trans mass shooters or school shooters in America. The follow-up question was about mass shooters in America. His counter to that was counting or not counting gang violence. Gang does not necessarily equate to black. That can equate to anything because we have seen that there's been a multitude of people to attack people within their own culture that's outside of black. I think just because when black people hear his answer, they say, oh, he's automatically talking about black people, and they're attributed to everything that he's been asked about when it comes to the black community. That does not mean, nor should that paint his statement as racist.
Yeah, exactly. It's self-inflicted.
Y'all hear the convo. It's a great conversation. Even while I'm up here with y'all, I'm watching this shit like I wasn't there. That's how captivating it is when I'm assessing it. It's 9 black men up there. I could frame it any type of way I want. Defending a racist, calling a man racist who isn't, right? What does this mean, right? And so here's the question that I ask. All of this stuff, what does it mean for black people, right? The man is dead and gone, you heard? We don't know if Mr. Reed hung himself or not. We know that there's an executive order to change up the history, to delete the history. Right? White power, white only towns. We see this shit. I think it was 10 families that bought 5,000 acres in Georgia to create Freedom, Georgia. Right? 9 black men going back and forth. Systemic. All those things are in play. What y'all think, man? What y'all think? How you feel? What does the landscape have to do with how you feel?